Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Laws of Community. This episode is our segment, Homeless to Home Free, as we do every third week of every month. And today is a special week. This is my buddy Skyler Ray coming on today, who, not even until recently, I didn't even know until just this week, honestly, how much he's gotten himself out there and built his success. I put um, a little more, you know, bit of my time and listening to his songs and the messages he's bringing out to his community and the words that he's spreading, everything that he's spreading. It's far beyond, uh, you know, anything that this generation has been really releasing within the last like decade, at least from my opinion. I feel like he's kind of brought it back to the '90s and the '80s, where like Eminem and Dr. Dre and these people that were going out there and living these lives, these hard times, and really talking real stuff about what's going on in their lives, what they've been through, the struggles that it's taken them to get to their success where they're at right now and where they're trying to get to be. There's a lot of people out today that are just trying to cut corners and paying into so many people to do things for them and everything. But this is something that I've since I've really started talking to Skyler in the last year. You know, he's blown me away with the things he's talked about what he does out of pocket. Everything he does, he funds himself. He's independent. It's just him and his lady who put out all their music, and they've really pushed themselves to the limits that people have been trying to reach and even further. And it's magnificent to see him go from somebody who is full of addiction and being poverty stricken and going through incarceration to now he's doing big things. So welcome to our show here. Welcome, Skyler, and I'd love to have you come on and say a few things.
Hey, I appreciate you inviting me on, man. I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm grateful for you saying those nice things about what we've been doing. It's really nice to get kind of recognition because every once in a while you're just grinding and grinding and grinding away, and sometimes even I don't realize the impact that I have until I'm told about it, and then I'm able to kind of look back and think, wow, what I'm doing is actually paying off, or it's helping people in a great way. So it's a beautiful thing. Pleasure to be on here, and thanks for the invite.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. And everything I said, it comes from the heart because I feel like everything I've been, trying to really put out there and do myself in life is a lot of along the same lines as what you're doing.
Absolutely.
So ever since you and I really started connecting, it's kind of funny. I've been looking up to you and seeing what progress you've really made. When we started talking a year ago, I didn't see as many posts of your merch or
Mm.
anything like that with those hoodies that you're doing for hashtag We Do Recover. And it's amazing to see how much you've done for your community. How many people have been putting their testimonials out there on your pages, which everybody, if you don't know, look up Skylar Ray Dreamers, right?
Yeah, you look up Skylar
And
Ray. Yeah, and it should all come up on any platform. You just look up Skylar Ray. And if you want to go check out some stuff on the website with more information, it is official Skylar Ray. And Skylar is spelled Skyler and then Ray. So if you guys are at home, want to check out more, make sure you look me up. Go ahead and reach out. My inbox is always open. And yeah, go ahead and drop a line. I would love to hear from you guys. Know what you guys are going through, and if you just need someone to vent to or someone to talk to, I'm always there. I'm always there for my people. I'm never gonna give up on them. You guys are the reason why I even have a platform. So if you guys want to reach out, don't feel shy. Go ahead, even if you just want to say hello. I'm always gonna be there to answer the message. Just know I got your guys' back and I support you as well. So
absolutely. And And that's something like, you know, with what I've noticed being someone who came from the streets and um right out of high school, you know, I became homeless and I hopped on a freight train, went hitchhiking and stuff. And like
Yeah,
Portland's my hometown, and each time I'd go back there each year, and you know, I was homeless downtown and stuff, and it was crazy watching it throughout all the years change. It was, you know, so happy and loving, and all these hippie circles and stuff in downtown, and people going and having festivities, and then
yeah.
slowly it started getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm just curious, throughout all the years that you were on the street, you know, struggling, what was it that kept you pushing every day, even when you were going
Mm,
through your hardest moments, when you were, you know, trying to really figure out yourself and where you were going to go? Because I know something with your music, I'm sure, has been around forever. So,
yeah.
what ultimately pushed you?
I think well ultimately, a lot of times when I was out there, it's really crazy because with addiction you kind of get lost in life. And so when I was out there, for a lot of it, I didn't see no other way. And on top of that, like that was the life I wanted to live forever. And that just shows you the mind state of insanity of when you're in addiction and going through it. How lost you can be to actually think this is the life that you want to live forever. And so, I think it's probably very relatable for anybody out there. I didn't want anything else in my life. I mean, always did music since like 11 years old. And in my 20s, I was out on the streets, homeless. And so, what ultimately pushed me to get clean was, there was a small period of time where I did get clean for a couple years. Well, I was clean for about a year, and then I was drinking. Then it kind of fell downhill, and I ended up back on the streets. But I was able to realize that I do have tools to be successful. That I do have a mind state to make it if I apply myself, and give effort. And so this last time I was sitting in prison, I kind of thought to myself, music has always been my dream. It's always been what I wanted. And so I thought, well, what's one thing that I haven't done? Like if I'm really going to get out and really give it my all, what's one thing I haven't done before? And I thought, well, I've never done music sober. I've never like
Mhm.
100% sober, never like fully gave it my all. And I thought, well, that's my best bet. If I'm going to grow old, I'm okay. So in life, at the end of the day, if I'm an old man and I don't make it in music, I'm okay with it as long as, I gave it my best bet. It's okay, like if I don't make it because I'm not good enough. A lot of people, aren't good enough at certain things. That's just the reality of it, But as long as I gave it my all and my full effort, I'm okay with not making it. But one thing I would not be okay with, and I think that would turn me into a sour, grumpy old man, is, if I didn't give it my all. That what if factor. You always hear people, oh, if I would have done this or if I would have done that. And I think that's one thing that I refuse to let be my story. If I'm not going to make it
I
doing
hear
what
you
I
there.
love, it's not going to be because I didn't try. It's not going to be because I didn't give it effort. And I think that's really what propelled me. And I had that conversation with myself and I thought, okay, when I get out this time, I'm really going to stick to it. And I'm going to do one thing that I've never done before is do it sober. And so it's like, I got clean and sober for music. I got off the streets, got away from the drugs because of music. I now stay clean and sober because I built a life I refuse to give up. But like I
That's
said, when I
awesome.
first got clean, it was for music because my passion, my dreams, I always wanted to do it. And that's kind of what my logo is. This is my lady's logo, but my logo is a microphone with wings. It's because music
Mhm.
saved my life and it's my guardian angel. So ultimately, that's what pushed me, that drive, that ambition, that chance to give myself a real shot and opportunity. I think that's what got me over the hump. And I think that's what pushed me to make it to where I'm at now.
Wow. Yeah, you know, that's just that's honestly really beautiful, because a lot of people really, you know, fall back to music but don't really know what to do with it. I
Absolutely.
myself, I've really strived towards it for so many years, and I haven't been able to get myself to really, you know, push myself towards it. I've been kind of breaking around it. Like today I got a violin.
Hmm.
You know, I want to start learning violin again. The last time I
Yeah.
played it was in the 6th grade. So,
Okay.
it's been so long. I've been saying I would get one, and finally I did. Um, so I really, and I feel you, when I was on the streets, I ended up really um pushing myself because of other people.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't really have any set goal where I was going at one point. At one point I was going through a mindset of where I just thought that was going to be my life. Um,
Yeah.
screw everybody who's
I
trying to
think
get
we've
me to
all been
work
there.
the regular life. And yeah, and
Yeah.
the only thing that really kept me going was that interaction with other people, and I feel like a lot of it honestly was around music itself too.
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of buskers out there. There's a lot of people, and those were a lot of the people that were chill to hang around.
Absolutely.
People that were out there doing something, actually trying to make an honest buck. Um, so that's powerful. Reaching towards the music and really bringing it somewhere with it. Uh, with that said, what got you that first step out of the poverty, and hitting points like touring with Afro Man,
Mm,
and opening for Kevin Gates, and having a song with Bizarre,
mm. Yeah,
and
I think a lot of it is, I came up with a plan. A lot of people underestimate the power in small goals. Everybody has these big dreams and they get told they're unrealistic and they seem scary and people don't know how to get started. But just by starting it, you're already so far ahead of a majority of the people because a lot of people never start those dreams. So with that being said, I came out with a plan. This is one of them. I'm rewriting my goals right now, but here's some of the old goals. You see the poster board right there.
yeah,
Um, I always have poster boards around my house. They always have goals. So no matter where I'm at in the house, I always see what I need to be doing and stay on point. And so when I got out of prison, all I know is I wanted to keep my goal. I wanted to be realistic and give myself an honest shot. So what I did was I took a vision board, these little poster boards. You go get them at the Dollar Tree. You get like two for $1. And if you're watching this, what I suggest to you guys, if you guys have these dreams, I bought three poster boards and well, I bought four technically, but three for what I'm talking about. I wrote down all my dream goals, like open up for Kevin Gates, do a song with Eminem, like Super Bowl halftime show. All these crazy all these crazy ideas. Where if anybody looked at it, they're like, "Yeah, you're crazy." Right.
yeah,
But those were my dreams, and I'm allowed to dream whatever I want to dream. Who's going to tell me I can't do it? Only I will put that limitation on myself, you know? And
man,
so
that's
what I
powerful.
did was I wrote down all my dream goals on one board. I posted it on my wall. Remind you, I'm living in free housing that is provided when you get out of prison because you got no other option. And so I posted it on the wall with all my dream goals. And then I posted another one that I broke down to long-term goals, which is in the next, maybe 1 to 3 years. Right. And then I break those goals down on another poster board to everyday task, right? Because like if your goal is to sell 1 million records, everybody's like, well, how do you do that? Right. So you break it down, all the way to like release the album, marketing strategies. But then the daily goals, like, you got to start picking beats, coming up with album concepts, coming up with start maybe write a verse, challenge yourself to write a hook. These are small things that we underestimate ourselves. But there's so much power into it. Consistency, the follow through, building those habits, realizing building your confidence up. If you guys are watching this, throw a couple give me's on there. That for sure you can do, and it sounds silly putting on there, but why not? Because the power of crossing them off, realizing, hey, here's a goal, I stuck with it, I got it done, I made it happen. And also another thing for me that I did, since I wanted to hit the ground running, is I put a poster board like I have in my dreams. That's why I said the fourth one. I put it on the back of my door, and I put down everybody that I loved, cared about, any of my dreams, any of my passions, and I wrote that on there. So that way, every time that I walked out that door, I saw what I would lose if I went and got high. It could be loved ones that my mom or my dad or my brother or dear friends of mine or music. I made sure that
Mhm.
there wasn't a time that I couldn't walk out that door to go enter the streets without seeing those names. And I think that really stuck with me because that's the last thing I seen before I went out to the streets. And so it really pushed me, it really propelled me. And I think just building up those habits have really shown me that success is possible, to be honest with you.
Wow, that's powerful. Um,
Thank you.
that was a lot. That was a lot of powerful knowledge, man. A lot of powerful wisdom. I mean, um, I mean, how old are you again by chance?
I'm 32.
32. Yeah,
32.
you're beyond your years. I mean,
Thank you.
with your wisdom. I mean, with everything you just said, it's just so powerful. The two questions that really come to mind is, you know, when you were going through prison then and really struggling through that, what was it you were in for anybody who has been on the streets, who's dealt with incarceration, who could possibly relate with
Mhm.
struggling trying to find how to get to their success? What was it you were in for, and kind of what kept you um while you were in there sane? uh
Well, I would think that I was in there for drug addiction. Well, drug addiction comes
okay.
with a lot of stuff, right? But
Yeah.
no, I was in there for delivery. That was my thing,
Okay.
was using to use dope. Yeah, I sold dope to supply my habit. And so you rack up enough of those charges, eventually they send you to prison. And so I was in prison for delivery of meth. And I think what kept me sane was every single day. I remember those long hallways, when you got to get up middle of the night to go pee or whatever, right? And I
Yeah.
remember walking across, I was in a dorm for a lot of my prison stay. And I remember walking across it and counting down the days. And they say don't count down the days. But I remember thinking, I was like, still got like 300 left, still got 200 left, still got, and all I could think was, wow, I'm really wasting my life here. I'm literally helpless. The rest of the world's moving on. And I thought to myself, if I'm going to do this, my aspirations and my dreams, right? Like, okay,
Hmm.
I'm sitting here, I'm wasting these days away. How can I prepare myself so when I leave, I could go out there and chase it? And so what I did was a lot of building in my mind for like what I wanted to do. I came up with a vision. I came up with not only a vision, but the steps that it would take to reach these goals. And I thought it was very important to start mentally preparing myself for the transition. That's why I said when I got out, I had the vision boards. I came up with a plan. I made that commitment to myself. I understood there was going to be sacrifices, but being inside the prison was sacrificing my entire life. So I knew that just by taking the time to prep, I got in really good shape. I came up with all these dreams, these goals. And I think that's really what kept me sane, was knowing that eventually they got to let me out. Eventually, my time will come. And when that time comes, I'm going to give it everything. Just because I was sitting in a cell, it didn't mean that I couldn't prepare and build myself. I could still make my time useful while I was in there. And I think that's a lot of mistake.
Absolutely.
Not a lot, but some mistakes some people make. They get out and they're like, "Oh, well, here comes real life." You should have been mentally prepping yourself the entire time. I know I was, and I know that was a major advantage of mine when I got out, was using my time and my resources properly and not letting the confines of the prison walls or the cells keep me locked up. In my mind, I was free and I was already building. So I think that's what kept me going.
That's awesome. I mean, and it makes a lot of sense. I mean, people thinking about it as you're speaking about it. I mean, it kind of makes sense to keep sane by counting down the days rather than
Yeah,
not, because you're kind of, if you're not counting down the days, you're losing track of time, and losing
losing
track of
track.
time, you're losing track of your reality.
Absolutely.
Because time is really what keeps your reality in place.
Yeah.
So, as long as you're finding that regimen, I mean,
Mm.
that's some great advice for anybody out there who sees this, that might be on their way going in anywhere,
Yeah.
honestly,
Yep.
to whoever is out there that might end up going through this at some point. Just really keep your head up, and really focus on yourself, getting to the points that you want to be in order to be better for yourself. That's
Absolutely.
the biggest points that I got from that, is really just focus on what makes you a better you.
Absolutely.
Um,
And if you're hungry enough, go after it. Um,
yeah,
you don't have to be the best in the room. You just have to be willing to outwork the person next to you, you
yep,
know? So that's
yep.
it.
And with that said, I wanna transition to your successes now,
Thank you.
and what's coming up next because everything that you've gone through, everything that you've put yourself through, everything that life has put you through, you're now onto bigger things. And so with what you're doing with your business, what kind of things are you doing in your community right now? I know you're doing the hashtag we do
Mhm.
recover with hoodies and
Yeah.
merch like that. What else are you doing to really spread the word for recovery?
Doing a lot of things, not only am I making, gear for the people, like you said, to celebrate their milestones, to be able to show that, that recovery is possible. It's been an amazing journey. One thing we're getting ready to do is gear up for our second Road to Recovery tour, and it's presented by 4D. We teamed up with them for a second year, and what we are doing
Awesome.
is we are traveling treatment center to treatment center around the United States. They always say the most important addict is the newcomer. And what that means is the most important addict is the person who's trying to get clean, may only have a day or two, they don't have the tools under their belt, they're struggling, they're looking for hope. So we travel around treatment center, rehab to rehab around the country, and we get
That's
to meet
awesome.
these people, me and my other half, and we get a chance to hear their story. I get a chance to tell them my story and show them that, our lives are very similar. Although the names in our stories may be different, we all felt lost. We all felt hopeless. We all, we're vulnerable. We're scared. We make mistakes. We don't know how to do it, you know. And so it's very important to show them that there's that common ground and show them that no matter where they're at or what state they are in their life right now, which may be rock bottom, is that they still have great potential, that they still have value. And so we get a chance to go in there and meet these people, speak with them. Me and Kayla get a chance to perform for them. Kayla is my other half, great partner of mine, my best friend, my fiance, and there's no one I'd rather go and spread this journey with than her. But we get a chance to do this. On top of that, we do back to school giveaways, drives for you
That's
know
awesome.
uh, parents in recovery who a lot of times when we get clean or we transition to doing things legal and working a job, a lot of times we may not be able to get the best job starting out. A lot of times we may need help because we're cleaning up our sidewalk, our side of the
Mhm.
sidewalk. We left all this trash on it and now we're cleaning it up, trying to get clean. We just got our kids back. It's overwhelming. And so we try to step in and try to help out young parents, or not young parents, but just parents in general who are new to recovery, and try to, give them, whether it's some clothes or whether it's some backpacks, things like that. Um, on top of that, we do our Little Dreamers fundraiser every single year, which we use our platform and we pick families who have suffered the reality of drug addiction. We're a big believer is so we're in the middle of starting our nonprofit as well. It's going to be called Little Dreamers Big Believers, just
Oh
because we
wow,
work with addicts of
that's
all
cool.
ages, right? We perform in
Hmm.
schools, we do everything like that. We're on the front lines with homelessness, addiction, things like that. But with the Little
That's awesome.
Dreamers fundraisers at the end of the year, we like to pick families that parents, whether it's their parents or their guardian, maybe they died of drug overdose, maybe they're not um, present in the kid's life because they're in rehab, maybe they're in jail, maybe they're homeless on drugs. And so we like to step in to make sure that no kid gets left behind because of drug addiction. So what we do is we usually pick some families, we go see the families, and we make sure that they have Christmas. And it's just something that we like
That's
to do.
beautiful.
Thank you. And we just like to make sure that
No,
we do our part in the community to help out, drug addiction, just because it's an ongoing battle. And it who knows, like, one person isn't gonna change the world, but we can make a difference in someone's world, if that makes sense. So that's where we try to step in and do our part.
Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. That's very beautiful what you guys do.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's even more than what I even knew so far. So that's awesome. You guys are taking that step to build a non for profit and do all those things, especially when you guys are already in your own business. What you're doing with your music and stuff, you're doing
It's
everything out
wild.
of pocket. You're just an inspiration on all those
Thank
levels.
you.
I mean, with going from where you have to where you are in the period of time that you have, like that's just phenomenal. I mean, it,
Thank
it
you.
really is. um and with that being said, if you want to share with the audience now, your tour dates that are coming up,
Yeah.
and what's coming up with your music and your platforms and everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we do got tour coming up. It begins the end of May, and it will go through September. So if you guys know a treatment center or anything like that, or NA event that you guys would like us to come through and perform at, whether it's convention, things like that, definitely get a hold of me. That is some tour dates right there. We do currently have a bunch more dates being added, but that's what's on the books and official as of right now. If you guys are in the Portland area, we do have some open shows. So we're about to add about 5 or 6 dates. Some of those are closed off just because they're recovery events, and a lot of treatment centers, it's not safe to have it open to the public. We even got a few schools on there. I'm really excited about it. I think this year we're hitting about 10 or 11 states. Still waiting for some things to get dialed
Oh,
in and
wow.
locked in on official dates. But we get a chance to travel around and really celebrate it. We even got an East Coast date over there. We're gonna heading to the East Coast date. I think we're hitting. So we have dates on here that are not on here because they're not official all the way yet. But we're hitting Washington, Oregon, California, Arizona, Colorado, Montana, Montana, Connecticut. Also, we're hitting what is it? Idaho. I think we're hitting different states. The states get confusing, but we are going out there and we're going to be on the road. We got lots of things we're doing. We're going to spending our time developing our nonprofit, getting it official, what should be by the end of the
That's
year.
awesome.
Lots of new music coming. I literally, since I'm a full time music artist, all I do is I stay in the house. I don't leave the house unless it's to get food, go to the post office, ship out merch, or a music event. I literally sometimes don't leave for like a month or two. Like the power of social media
Wow.
as an artist or an entrepreneur, like everything can be done on the internet. So if you was watching this, you don't have to be the best. You just got to be willing to outwork the person next to you. I honestly believe I have a long way to go music wise, and I'm working
Hmm.
on it, and I've seen that growth. So I know the jump is possible. Um, but it's not because of my music talent. I am where I'm at. It's because I refuse to take no as an answer, and I worked my tail off, and I get up every single day and I'm hungry and I go after it. And it doesn't
Yeah.
matter if someone's better than me. This is what I'm doing and this is how hard I'm going to go at it. So that's how I got the results, with kindness as well. If you're running a business, if you have consumers and stuff that you deal with, be kind to people, shed love, show love, um, you know, and do your best to treat people the way you want to be treated. We're all humans. We like to be loved. We like to be feel valid and important. And it's like that's why I always answer my messages. My Skylar Davis page, my personal page,
Hmm.
I get 50 to 100 messages a day. My Skylar Ray page on Facebook, I get a couple hundred messages a day. That's not even including Twitter or Instagram or TikTok. But it's like I try to
Hmm.
answer every single message,
Wow.
and I do
Yeah,
really
that's
good at
dedication
it.
to your people. That's awesome.
My people are the reason why where I'm at now. Without them, I
Yep.
don't have a platform. So thank you everybody who's watching.
Absolutely. And from that, I was going to bring it to the last question, because this is the law of community, or the laws of community. And with what you just said, it definitely hits base, because nowadays where everything's technologically advancing, and there's a lot of people that either can't or refuse to go and like do any sort of physical thing.
Yeah,
Social media has really helped a lot. And
it has.
so, building your community, um, what what is your one real law of community that sets you apart, um, that makes you really strive to build your community? What is it that you feel makes or breaks one?
Like my philosophy kind of in life. Is that what you're
Yep.
kind of like talking about, or?
Yep.
Okay. I would say honestly, um, my goal is just to, help as many people as I can, to let them know that they have value. I lead with kindness. I think kindness goes a long way in a world where everybody's out for themselves, in a world where everybody, is being greedy, in a world where, people are treating people nice just to get some from them. I think it's a beautiful thing. And so if you're out there, lead with kindness, lead with your heart, show love, and just treat another person like you want to be treated. I promise it will work out.
Absolutely. Um, that's honestly, if everybody were to live their lives kind of with that mentality, and like you said, even just kind of working trying to make it more than the one next to you,
Yeah.
even with that mentality, that's still possible, if everybody were to think with those two things all in one, we would be in such a better world. Our communities, our society would be thriving. Everybody would be happy, I feel, just because you're stepping out with your heart, but
Yeah.
you're also working hard and putting your weight out there, and you know making
If it's
sure
a
that
safe
everybody
space,
else
more people are
can
gonna
get
wanna
something.
contribute, you know?
Yep,
If
absolutely.
make it
And
a
you
safe
empower
space.
others when people see you doing it, for yourself. So
Thank you.
um thank you. And I just want to thank everybody real quick for showing up today. Thank you, Ron Lieb, Francis, Valerie. Um, thank
Yep.
you, Belinda. Thank
Belinda,
you,
Ron, Lee, all them, Valerie.
Courtney. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Penny. Thank you, Kayla. Thank you, everybody, for showing up today. Trisha. Uh, yeah, Dizzy. Wow. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you all for being here with him today and viewing this episode, seeing what you can really do for yourself to bring yourself from nothing to something. And to really bring yourself from homeless to home free and build that success up. Um, and thank you, Skyler, for sharing that with our audience, sharing every bit of what you've kind of thought through during each process of your life and where you're at now, and sharing that light for people who may be finding themselves in a dark spot. So
Absolutely. Thanks for having me again. If anybody's listening,
absolutely.
just know you have value. If you have a dream, go after it. Don't let no one tell you no. I love you guys. Thank you.
Well, love you guys and see you next week on the next episode.